and welcome to The State. On this show, we probe the issues and dig the solutions. We join the nation as the nation mourns that cultural icon, that music legend, Charles Kojofosu, also known as Daddy Lumba. May his soul rest in peace. Now I ask you, could there ever be a time in this world where there will be no conflict? Will our differences based on ethnicity, religion, politics be able to unite us? What is it that makes our interests clash as a people? How do you resolve conflict in your home, in your marriage, at the corporate space? Conflict is an issue. My name is Gabriel, new to Ankrah. I'll be back with details. Please stay.
Yes, the solution to all your travel needs is here. Ankrah Lodge and Travel Services offers you the opportunity to travel to the following countries: Canada, United States of America, Turkey, Dubai, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Malta, Germany, and other European countries, where skilled workers such as nurses, paramedics, nannies, and caregivers, drivers, plumbers, masons, electricians, carpenters, painters, etc. are needed for urgent employment. Ankrah Lodge and Travel Services can secure your Schengen visas with work permits. Individuals, organizations, churches, schools can contact us for their ticketing and hotel reservation, car rental services, international tour packages, travel consultation, visa assistance, and study abroad packages to all countries. We are located at Mr. Bates bus stop opposite the Calvary Baptist Church at Abaka, Accra, or contact us on these numbers: 0544 27 9525 or 0545 622 672 or 0302 237557. Ankrah Lodge and Travel Services, your destination, our pride.
Welcome back. Let's settle for W Briefs. On W Briefs, what we do is to give you an executive summary of the topic we are looking at for the day, or let's say the facts of the matter as it is. So the sound of gunshots and sirens have become all too familiar with residents of Boku, a town in the Upper East region of Ghana. For decades, the Kusasis and Mamprusis, two ethnic groups, have been plagued by a chieftaincy conflict that has claimed hundreds of lives and displaced thousands of people. The parties involved in the conflict are the Mamprusis and the Kusasis. Historically, the conflict has been a struggle over allodial rights, land or occupancy of the land, power and influence in the Boku area. That is a historical antecedent to the dispute. The dispute dates back to pre-colonial times, dates back to the indirect rule system which triggered these decade-old conflicts. Pre-colonial, indirect rule system. The conflict is between the indigenous Kusasis, who are the majority in Boku, and the Mamprusis settlers, who are perceived to be more powerful. So the indigenous people are the Kusasis, and the Mamprusis are the settlers, who are perceived to be more powerful. In 1957, as Ghana gained independence, the Kusasis, who are the indigenous people, feeling subjugated under Mamprusi Bokunaba, who was imposed by colonial authorities, they took a very daring decision. The Kusasi people took a very daring decision. The Kusasis also declared their own independence by appointing Naba Abugrazo Azoka as their Bokunaba. So the political authority, the colonial authorities have made a Mamprusi Bokunaba to be head over them. Then they took a daring decision by declaring independence, by also appointing their own Aburago Azoka, as the Abokunaba, marking the beginning of the Boko conflict. According to experts and stakeholders, the chieftaincy conflict in Boko is not only about contest of power and prestige. It's not as we say in the local parlance, on the face of the pink sheet. There could be more undercurrent to it. It is also about competition for scarce resources and opportunities in the region. And that is so this region we are talking about, where Boko is located, Upper East, is among the poorest and marginalized regions in Ghana. So it's about scarce resources, the management of it, the distribution of it. Anytime there is unequal distribution of resources, conflicts are bound to happen. Dr. 𝗟𝗓𝗓 is a political science lecturer at the University of Ghana. And he says that his position is that he believes that the lack of development in Boko and the lack of development and distribution of resources and services in Boko is what is fueling the conflict. To him, it's more about development. It's more about equal share of resources in Boko. Dr. Deborah adds that the chieftaincy institution, as we have it, and so in Boko, plays a very significant role in the allocation and management of land and other natural resources like water, minerals, and forests. So who is head is a big deal. Who is chief is a big deal. Who is king there is a big deal. Another security analyst, Professor Kwesi Enin, very known voice on security matters in Ghana, posits that the post-colonial and contemporary politics in Ghana have also exacerbated the conflict. So it's not only these ones. There are politics and actors who have played a role, and this has exacerbated the conflict. He believes that different political parties and actors have exploited the ethnic divisions and grievances for their interests in their parochial interests and agenda. So Kwesi Enin is saying that politicians and other political actors have exploited the divisions and grievances in Boko. On April 9, 2025, this year, a violent clash resulted in the death of one person and the injury of two other people, including a student. After the police is reported to have opened fire near Gandhi City. And Gandhi City is a suburb in the area in Boko. So police opened fire, leading to the loss of lives and injury. Then the unrest began. It began when youth from one faction, remember, I've said that it traces its historical antecedent to the Kusasis and Mampuses. Youth from one faction attempted to prevent the opposing side from accessing the local market. The police intervention escalated the tensions, leading to a confrontation between Kusasis and Mampusi again, just this year, April 9, 2025. In retaliation, the angry youth set houses ablaze. They touched the vehicle of the police command and even went to the divisional police commander at Adamu Seidu's private residence to burn the house. That was the retaliation. The angry youth setting several houses ablaze, touching a police vehicle and going to the Boko police divisional police commander's residence to burn it. In response to this renewed violence in Boko, the Ministry of Interior has reviewed its curfew hours in Boko and other surrounding communities in the upper East region. So the new curfew is now from 2 p.m. to 6 a.m. It has to renew it. Some security experts have said that yes, movement should be restricted. So the Ministry of Interior has done that. The curfew is now 2 p.m. to 6 a.m. The President of the Republic, President John Mahama, has also entered a conversation on the conflict in Boko by initiating a peace mediation process, which is led by the revered Asantehene Otumfuo Osei II, all in an effort to bring calm to Boko, to the area. So the President has joined, and Otumfuo's committee has been working. But beyond the guns and battles and the warfare, the Boko crisis has also been fought in the courts. It has traveled even to the highest courts of the land where verdicts have been given, but little or no progress has come out of it. So it's moved from the war front, from the gun battles, even to the courts. Nothing has come out of it. So with many more fatalities and destruction of properties fueled by the spread of illegal arms in Boku, we ask on the show today, what could be the lasting solution to the volatile situation in Boku? We will find out when I return with my guest. Stay.
To avoid the heavy vehicular traffic in Ankrah after a hard day's work? Then enjoy a short stay in the new Wesley Tower's spacious and beautiful rooms. Our 6 suites provides a comfortable treat after a long day of exploration. Enjoy modern amenities, breathtaking views in the city of Ankrah's ambassadorial enclave, and the utmost comfort during your stay. The property gives you a warm reception in our main entrance foyer with a classic central chandelier lighting as you enjoy affordable sumptuous meals from our restaurant. We have in place male-female washrooms, spacious car park, and an on-site clinic. Wesley Towers is designed to make you feel safe, offering you the needed luxurious personal space. It comes with affordable pricing package. Please contact for details and inspection. 0503 109 978 or 0500 166 304. 0556 302 880 or 0243 614 423. Wesley Towers, offering you a safe, secured, luxurious space.
Welcome back. This is The State. It is your favorite current affairs program on Christian television. And there is a conversation that you really need to hear and then join as the national discourse progresses. Conflict is it's a matter that people say that once there are clashes of interest, definitely conflicts are bound to happen. And we ask that, could there ever be a world where there is no conflict, where our political divide, our ethnic, religious could rather unite or bring us together? And we zoom in on the conflict in Boku, the Boku conflict. It has its historical antecedents, and security experts and political scientists have posited their position, some claiming that it traces its roots to development issues and the uneven distribution of natural resources. And others say that there are political parties and political actors' exploitation of the Boku situation, the grievances and the situation that is happening there. We ask on the show today, is there any clear path to sustainable peace in Boku? And we are joined via Zoom. He is a retired police officer and a minister of the gospel of the Methodist Church, the very Reverend Frank Chumba. He's joining us on Zoom. Very Reverend, thank you for joining us on the stage today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Very well. We are happy to have you. And we are in the studio with Mr. Peter Wonders. Mr. Peter Wonders is a lecturer at the African University of Communications and Business. Mr. Wonders, thank you very much and welcome to the studio.
I'm good for this opportunity.
Wonderful. Great. We will also be joined by Zoom Reverend Benjamin Aruk. He's a Methodist minister in Boku. Methodist minister resident in Boku. Sofopeni, welcome to the state. Good to have you, Reverend. Reverend, if you could unmute so that we can hear you. Unmute the Zoom so we can hear you. Reverend Benjamin Aruk will work on his Zoom connection, and then we will continue with the discussions. First off, let me start with you. DCOP Frank Chumba. Papa, from where you sit and what has happened in the last few hours and days, as a security person, how will you describe the situation in Boku currently?
Well, thank you very much. I think that looking at the whole scenario, and then what has happened within the past few days and weeks, one is tempted to think that the conflict has gotten so close to us. And I believe that it will even be at our doorstep within the shortest possible time that we expect. Because there are communities scattered all over the country, communities that are made up of Kusasis and Mampusis and other tribes from the north. And so if this thing is not taken care of, we might have a situation where even in Ankrah, the conflict will get closer to us in Ankrah. Why do I say so? I say so in the sense that looking at where the conflict is taking place in Boku. In recent times at Aswansi, we saw what happened when a Kusasi chief was murdered. Now the people involved in the conflict in Boku, both the Mampusis and the Kusasis, have their relations scattered all over. Some are in Kumasi, some are in Ankrah. Now, security also in Boku has been beefed up. The military are there, the police are there. So if they try to do anything else, it's impossible to succeed. What they intend doing is to follow these people outside of Boku. And so whatever community that they can find any Kusasi or any Mampusi, they will start attacking them. And that's the most serious issue that at hand that we need to look at. And this is why the security and also the media, for instance, also have to be careful in discussing some of these issues.
Yeah.
Let's take, for instance, the Asawase murder. I think it's a targeted kind of killing because the person is a Kusasi. I don't know whether the people, the culprits have been arrested now or not. But once they are on motorbikes and they can go out and do anything, today you can find people 2, 3 on motorbikes. And unfortunately, riding on motorbikes has also become legal because the state now supports these our riders on motorbikes with transportation here and there, thinking that using Okada and other things makes life cheaper. But that is the negative part of it, that it's like you see people seated on motorbikes, you think that they are doing business, they are doing commercial activity, but they have their own intentions. Very well. Why they are on motorbikes.
Very well. That explains why in certain jurisdictions, especially in Boku, even motorbikes are banned from moving, even wearing of smoke. Anything that can hide any weapon or something, it's been very well. So I'll take that as your preliminary comment. And it's a worrying situation, just like you are saying. It escalates beyond Boku, and by virtue of where you belong, you have found anywhere, and you could be attacked or whatever. Okay, Reverend Aruk, Papa, let me come to you before I come to Wonders in the studio. You are in Boku. How is Boku at the moment? Reverend, you are speaking from Boku, but we can't hear you. Please unmute so we can hear you. Unmute on the speaker on your Zoom.
Can you hear me?
Very clearly now. Very clearly. Very. Thank you very much.
Good. Boku is a town one cannot predict what will happen the next minute. It's a place where one finds it difficult both security and the civilians, they find it problematic to tell what will happen in the next 1 minute, 1 hour, and what of you. So everybody is very, very, very alert. Whether you are a child, an elderly person, a male or a female, you work with security eyes, if I support it, that with security ears on the ground, because anything can happen at any time, at any place. That's the situation we have in Boku now.
So, Papa, now you are indoors. Curfew in place?
Yes, please.
So everybody.
Curfew in place. That is 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 6 o'clock in the morning.
In the morning. No movement whatsoever.
Yes.
Nobody comes out.
No movement. Nobody can be outside apart from the military and the police who are patrolling the place.
It's a serious situation. But I'll come to you. Let me come to the studio and then talk to Peter Wonders. Peter, from the security personnel has spoken. Osofo Aruku is there, and Boku has spoken. You are here in Accra. You've monitored. You have even lived in Boku.
Yes.
You have read it.
I live among the Mampusis and then the Kusasis. And when I was there, I think I spent a chunk of my time living among the Kusasis. I was at Paluega, the articulator station. That was where I lived. So I think I've had opportunity to study the two factions. So I know them very well. Yes.
And what was the experience like? What do you think on the ground? Because until there is sudden, should I say, there's a shock, and then we hear of conflict, things seem to.
You see, maybe Boku is a very nice place. It's a commercial town, and it's a very nice place. And I'm very sad they are experiencing such a moment, because when I was there, I never experienced such an event. So I don't know why now, although it has been in existence for years, but fortunately for me, when I was there, I never experienced that, except on one occasion during a 6 March when I sent my student to the parade ground, and just after leaving, there was a gunshot. But then, thanks be to God, the police were there, the military were there, and then they were able to, mitigate that particular. But then, if we want to discuss issues of Boku, then we have to know the character of the players there, being the Mampusis and the Kusasis, who they are, what they are, how they are. Else we're misfiring. The Mampusis are like warriors. They are warriors, and we have to know their history in Boku and the history of Kusasi in Boku before we can treat this matter. So I crave your indulgence, if you don't mind, to state that the Mampusis migrated from Zamfara, around Chad, that's the northern part of Nigeria, and the officers of 𝗟𝗓𝗩𝗘 who led them, and their first settlement was Pusiga. And this Pusiga was the same place where the Guans also settled. So I would say Pusiga has became a town, a prestigious town hosting aliens. So most of the ethnic groups settled in Pusiga before migrating to where they are today. Then the Kusasis also migrated from Burkina Faso. So you asked, who were the first to settle on that land, on that Boku land? Who were the first to settle on that land? And from my research, it was the Kusasis. Then don't forget that when 𝗟𝗓𝗩𝗘 brought his troop or his children from Zamfara, it was Nairi, 𝗟𝗓𝗪𝗓, who had 3 sons. And they are the Sitobu who founded Dagomba. Then the Tohugo, who founded the Mampusis. Then the Mantoba, who founded the Nanumba. So both Nanumba, Dagomba, and Mampusis are siblings. So if the Reverend Minister is saying that we are sitting on a time bomb, and for that matter, the war is closer to us, I side with him. Looking at the location of Mambusi, Dagomba, and Nanumba, and quite recently, the chief of Tamale, the Dagomba chief, has also warned that the war should not travel from where it is to Tamale, because as it stands today, there has been gunshot at Nalerugu, which is closer to what? Tamale. And you know, Dagombas and Mampurusis and Nanumba are not cousins, who they are siblings from 1-3 and Ana Tabia. Nairi na Tabia. Adahim. So what took the Mampurusis from Nalerugu to the current place, Boku? That is what we should be discussing. What took them there? Who were the first to settle on that land? From my research, I've already told you the Kusasis. Where from all these Mampurusis, Kusasis? And from my research, about 75% of the indigenous in Boku are Kusasis. Then the Mampurusis, let me say the Moshis, the houses and all that, they also come together to form the rest of the population over there. Now, what happened? I will tell you today. The problem that we are suffering as a country, as a community in Boku, was not fueled by either Mampurusis or the Kusasis.
Who then?
The white man, the British. I will explain it to you today.
He's gone.
Yeah, but he left his diary. He left his diary.
So bring us up to speed on.
Thank you very much. You know, the Trans-Sahara trade routes, which moved from somewhere Salaga through Nalerugu to Boku. Then from Boku, it's split to Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and then the east environs, right? So when the bush from the southern sector of Ghana came, being the wine, the gunpowder, and name them, they traveled all the way through to Salaga. From Salaga to Nalerugu. From Nalerugu to Boku. From Boku, then it got splitted. Boku, Burkina Faso, Mali, and then Niger. But then, so Boku became a commercial or enviable city in the northern sector. Then the white man noticed that no, he has traveled from the southern side to Salaga. From Salaga to Nalerugu. Where did his product ended? Boku. From Boku to the other parts of the world. So he had interest to also trace, to know where Boku was. By then, because the Mampurusis have related with the whites, they could speak the white man language. So they became the white man interpreters. Number two, they became the white man's bodyguards.
The Mampurusis.
The Mampurusis. Then what again? The Kusasis had no proper administrative leadership. They had what we call the Tindanas. The Tindana is the chief priest, like the Konfopehi in our societies, and in some of the communities in Ghana or the southern sector, we didn't have chiefs and not like the Guans who never had chiefs, but then the Konfopehi, what they call, yeah. So the Kusasis were as fellows. They were scattered on the land without any proper leadership except the Tindanas. Are you following?
Yeah.
So whenever goods travel from the southern sector through Nalerugu to Boku, the Kusasis became like burglars. Should I say, they should, I don't know the territory to use, like armed robbers on the route, or should I say, people who were attacking traders. Because the Nairi had interest in what was happening in Boku, he now dispatched his warriors, not ordinary people. So today, if we are seeing what we call Mampurusis and Kusasis fighting, let me be frank with you, they should be, they should excuse my language. I want to put it in a perspective that the ordinary listener or whatever will understand. So it's just like a warrior fighting a burglar, an armed robber. So they all know how to use weapons. But unfortunately, on any part of them, Mampurusis went there on two missions or on three accounts. One, to protect the white man who was trying to explore Boku. Two, the Buzangas who migrated from Burkina Faso to fight the Kusasis. So they went to protect the Kusasis. And three, to serve as watchdogs for Nairi, to protect the interests of the Nairi. With regard to goods that travel from the Nairi through Boku to the other three countries I've already made mention of. So when the white man had an interest, he now went there to Boku. When he got there, he realized that the Kusasi didn't have any proper, what you call, leadership.
Yeah,
he wanted to now rule them indirectly or directly. So now how can he rule them? He can only rule them through the established leadership. And which group had the established leadership? That was the Mampusis.
So that leads to the, should I say, the colonial bit. The indirect rule system was what was used to more or less divide these people. We are tracing the history to the white man.
Yes.
Causing what is happening today.
Yes, that's correct.
Very well. So viewers, if you are just joining us on the States, we are looking at the conflict in Boku. You just heard Peter Wonders, and Peter is a lecturer at the African University of Communications and Business, trying to give us the history. And if you have followed, I allowed, because we need to follow the history and then understand where we have come. I'll get back to him again, but I come to you, Reverend Benjamin Aruch. So for you are in Boku, you have heard the history from the researcher. Is that so entrenched? Because both factions come to sit at your feet in the chapel. You interact with them every now and then. Is that the picture? The division, is that
exactly so? But it happens that in my church we don't have that mixture. That is what I want us to see. Maybe in other denominations, that mixture may be realized, but with regards to the Methodist Church, we don't have the Mampusa and the Kusasis worshiping in the Methodist Church in Boku as we speak. But what he said is true. It has come to, it's common knowledge that when they came, like the senior man is explaining, they came as a force to protect. And finally, they didn't come with their wives or, but they ended up marrying the natives who were the Kusasis. So as of now, when you go there and you just do some kind of sampling, maybe 10 people at a go, you see their root tracing to the Kusas ancestry. They are uncling the Kusasis. And then that is how they continue. And then at a point in time, like he earlier on stated, it became politically fuel along the line, and we are where we are. We are where we are now.
So could we also agree with the academics when they say that what is happening in Boku is a matter of development and resource allocation? Could that be a trigger, aside what Wonders has given as the historical antecedent? Is that a contributing factor?
Not necessarily so. You see, when what belongs to you, if it is taken away, no matter the form of compensation, one will not take it. You get that? What belongs to you, if someone forcefully take that thing away from you and replaces or make a substitute of something that is even big and so profitable, one can still reject it. It is not that because the place is not well developed. That is why the place is noted to be conflict-prone area.
It has its origin, like
you get
history
that.
has it. Very well, very well. I'll come to you, DCOP, sir, in a bit. But Peter Wonders, my viewers are telling me the history is going very well. Let me find out from you before, quickly, in a minute or two, the political exploitation. So the colonial people started it. Our politicians and political actors have also had interest and in their agenda. How have they contributed to this?
Okay, so when the white man left, before he would leave, Lord Listowel set a committee the Ajimambadu's committee, the Opoku Afari committee, who came out with a recommendation that that particular scheme belongs to the Kusasis. There were controversies. So before 1957, there had been, in 1931, you know, it's a huge history that we cannot finish discussing. So let me pick some salient points and then we continue.
And then bring it on to contemporary politicians.
So in the next 2 minutes, I'll do that.
Great,
then we see the way forward. So what happened was that when the white man what was about leaving, a committee was set as a Ajimambadu's committee and the Opoku Afari committee. And they all came out with a recommendation that the stool does not belong to the Mamprusis.
The skin.
The skin. It's not a stool because they are on the skin. So, belongs to the Kusasis. And that didn't go on well with the Mamprusis. So, thinking that once Kwame Nkrumah was coming, they were going to have a fair hearing. Kwame Nkrumah came and there was another committee. And the committee also recommended that the skin belongs to the Kusasi. That, what they call, provoked the Mamprusis. And that was the beginning of politics entering into the Boku issue. So because of that, the Kusasi held on to CBP because of the recommendation and the endorsement of Kwame Nkrumah. Then the Mamprusis also said that, hey, Kwame Nkrumah, we thought you were coming to, you know, sympathize with us. But if you have come for the Kusasis, then we also join the UP. And the UP has grown to become the NDP. And today, the CBP has also grown to you know, to pick a color of the NDC. So it has turned to be NDC, NDP. So NDC for Mamprusi, NDC for Kusasi. That has been the issue as it stands today. So whenever the MPP is in power, that is the perception. The Mamprusis are happy. When the NDC comes to power, the Kusasis are happy, thinking that unfortunately. But if we have time, we would have also delved into the issues why the Kusasis wouldn't want the Mamprusis to rule over them, because they felt the Mamprusis were imposed on them. Are you get what I'm saying? And when the Mamprusis were imposed on them, let me be frank with you, I've stayed among the Mamprusis, and they've shown me their ancient palace. And that is about 100 meters, 150 meters away from the traffic on the right-hand side. They had their old palace there. And according to sources, you know, when the Mamprusis, even the Kusasis even agreed, and they were under the Mamprusis, they were used, shipped, abused, and they were used for domestic works. They were shipped into line to perform certain duties they were not ready to perform. For which reason today, the Kusasi will never ever allow the Mamprusis to rule over them.
Viewers, this is The State, and we are discussing the conflict in Boku, what it has turned to be now. We've gotten the historical antecedent, we've gotten what is happening on the ground, because some of our guests are currently there, and we've looked at especially where we came from and why we are where we are. Time, one hour cannot help us to digest everything, but I want to believe that so far you have heard what has been the history. We asking on the show today that could there be a clear path for sustainable peace in Boku? We just heard Mr. Peter Wonders. Peter Wonders is a lecturer at the African University of Communications and Business. We are joined via Zoom by the very Reverend DCOP Frank Chumba, retired. Also, the Reverend Benjamin Aruk of the Methodist Church in Boku. When we come, we'll look at the issue about security. Security means now government is saying that they have to move from peacekeeping to peace enforcement. That means the force of the law will be visited, and it comes with human rights. We'll look at proliferation of arms and the mediation process. Don't move. We'll be back right after the break.
yes, the solution to all your travel needs is here. 𝗟𝗡𝗩 Lodge and Travel Services offers you the opportunity to travel to the following countries: Canada, United States of America, Turkey, Dubai, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Malta, Germany, and other European countries, where skilled workers such as nurses, paramedics, nannies, and caregivers, drivers, plumbers, masons, electricians, carpenters, painters, etc. are needed for urgent employment. 𝗟𝗡𝗩 Lodge and Travel Services can secure your Schengen visas with work permits. Individuals, organizations, churches, schools can contact us for their ticketing and hotel reservation, car rental services, international tour packages, travel consultation, visa assistance, and study abroad packages to all countries. We are located at Mr. Bates bus stop opposite the Calvary Baptist Church at Abaka, Ankrah, or contact us on these numbers: 0544 27 9525 or 0545 622 672 or 0302 237557. 𝗟𝗡𝗩 Lodge and Travel Services, your destination, our pride.
We are looking at the conflict in Boku, the Boku conflict. Is there any clear path for sustainable peace? And we've had discussions thoroughly, if you're just joining us, on the real situation in the ground. We've looked at the history that has brought us here, the political exploitation, and where it all started from, its ramifications on us. We have our guests who have helped us to understand the conversation so far. In the studio with us is Mr. Peter Wonders. He's a lecturer with the African University of Communications and Business. We are joined via Zoom too by the very Reverend DCOP Frank Chumba, retired, also a Methodist minister in Boku, the Reverend Benjamin Aruk, also helping us to understand and appreciate the conversation. We've been joined on the line by a labor expert, Mr. Austin Game. Sir, thank you for joining us on the stage. So we'll work the line. DCOP, sir, let me come to you quickly. Sir, so now government is saying that the approach is now we are moving from peacemaking to peace enforcement. That means that the full force of the law has to be visited on the people in Boku. What does that mean? And don't you think issues of human rights will come in?
Thank you very much. I think it's true because there's definitely a distinct approach to managing the conflict. Once you want to enforce the law, definitely others will also think that they will try to avoid it. And being a security agency, the military or the police will definitely make sure that because the law is on their side, they'll force people to abide by the rules of the land. As at now, as Osofo at Boku was saying, the curfew starts from 2 p.m. to 6 a.m. So by this time, the people in Boku are all indoors. Till the next morning, 6 a.m. They are enforcing the peace, because if you don't allow people to enjoy peace, then you yourself will be put behind closed doors. And that is what is happening at Boku at the moment. And so it's important that yes, the people have the right to go out and do other things. But if that kind of right will be abused for people's lives to be lost, property also destroyed, then the state will also have to make sure that this thing is done. And so when it is enforced to a point where the people come to realize, then we start building the peace. Because you want to quickly stop and prevent chaos. And this peace enforcement comes with this intervention, because without that, you can't end it abruptly. So quickly, we want to bring an end to it. So certain kind of coercion will have to be applied in this.
In the situation.
And this one, it is not about we have to go here or there. Whether you like it or not, you have to be indoors. And this is an authority that the state has given to those security agencies in the area to make sure that it happens. And so it's important. They are protecting civilians, they are protecting property, and protecting everybody in that area, because the security agencies themselves, their lives will be in danger if this kind of strategy is not implemented as soon as possible. Because you see policemen dying, you see military officers dying, children are dying, and they are killing everybody. There's total breakdown of law and order. So once the coercion sets in and the law is enforced to make sure that people stay at home, once negotiations and other things take place behind the scenes also, we'll be in a position to achieve something. So you cannot, there's a key adage that says that when you find yourself in the midst of army soldiers, the ants, they'll be biting. You can't stand within them and then start taking them one by one. You have to move away to a point before you start taking them off. And so when this kind of enforcement is in place, then the kind of negotiation and mediation is also being worked on. And this is where I think that the Otumfuo committee, the Otumfuo's intervention is relevant in this instance.
Yes. We'll look at the mediation process. We'll look at the mediation process in a bit. But this UP, let me ask you in a minute.
Yes.
And the proliferation of illegal weapons, small arms. These factions are using weapons illegally, sophisticated. Aren't we worried? Is it not a cause for concern to the security structure?
It's a total worry. It's a total worry. I don't think that there's going to be anyone who disagree that people should not be having arms like this. There are people who trade in these arms. They get licenses and get the weapons, small arms. Some are even using AK-47s. How did they manage to get AK-47s and using them? And I believe that as the people use these weapons, and here let me go back a little bit to the issue that we've been talking about, political influence in some of these conflicts. When there's time for elections, you see party agents with weapons. Where do they get these weapons from? AK-47. Where do they get them from? And the government in power has people who have weapons, and they go around. And definitely all these groups, these conflicts that are taking place in our land. When our brother at the studio was mentioning, Doc was mentioning about CPP, UP, NDC, MPP coming in. Definitely, if the government in power follows one faction of the conflict, they will definitely protect their people. And when these arms come in, I tell you, it's going to be a problem for us. Today in Accra, let's look at Agbogboshi. Who are the people living in Agbogboshi? If you want to do a head count to find out the kind of people who live there, the way they do there, I tell you, this conflict is gradually coming down. It has left Boko, it has come to Kumasi. Aswasi. It will definitely get to Accra. When it gets to Accra, I tell you that when you are going to your office, you will not even dare put on smoke. Because I was sharing with a brother, two ministers. They are also in one of the security agencies.
In a minute.
But they were saying that, hey, this smoke that we have put on, we need to be careful. Because if you are not careful, you'll be caught in between the lines. No one will know whether you are Kusasi or a Mampusi or none of the two.
Unfortunately so. Unfortunate reality. Let me come to that.
And when you go to Boku it is the Mampusis who normally weave the what they call the small.
They weave the small. So yes, we've looked at the proliferation. We'll look at, so now the only economically to they'll be losing because now you can't wear.
Yes.
They said people should not wear.
So I have to go and remove mine.
Like this UP say, now you can't wear smoke.
Yes.
It's a very serious, issue.
Yes,
Peter, so we've looked at the proliferation. This UP has mentioned the security concerns. Then you can take a bite at it, but I want you to look at the mediation process so far and how you see it.
Let me frank with you. It is the southern sector that we normally consider the borders. When you move to the north, you just jump to the other side of the of the land until you are in Boku. You are in Burkina Faso. You jump to the you are in Togo. So when we're talking about arms and security measures there, I think the very Reverend was charitable by mentioning AK-47. I can confidently tell him that the guns they use over there is more powerful than the AK-47. Per their narration, as I was with them, they told me some of the guns, when they shoot it here, you can't stand. Even the military runs away. You can't stand. You have to run away.
Did they tell you where they get them from?
No,
they won't tell you.
And I've told you that they share boundaries or border with Burkina Faso and then Togo.
So there's a fear for jihadists and Islamists.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. Once upon a time, I was traveling to Sankasi in Togo, right? Just you just move a few distance from Ghana, you're in Togo.
Yeah.
Just they have some small valley. You just enter and then you're in Togo. So let me be frank with you. All these machine guns and these big guns, where do they come from? Do they travel from Ankrah to those places? No. They rather travel from those places to the southern sector. And he's talking about the war being closer to us. Yes, I will tell you that it is our door. It is at our doorsteps because we are living among the Kusasis and the Mampusis in Ankrah here. Yeah. So once they begin to fight in Ankrah here, it will affect the two of us, just like the Hutus and the Tutsis. Are you getting what I'm saying? That was the diary that the white man left with us. Fortunately or unfortunately, the black man also rehearsed the diary and has also controlled the trade. And we are suffering. So the best way to go about this is not about so after the curfew, what next? Ask yourself this question. After the curfew, what next? So if you are saying that you sleep at 2 p.m. and then wake up at 6 a.m. the following morning, after that, what next? Can they continue in that? Because we saw the same thing between Nkonya and Alabanyo, Peki and Chito and Konkomba and the non-numbers and all that. How did we mitigate this particular crisis? Because it's now a crisis.
So once this at it, then the negotiation team, the mediation team led by eminent Otumfuo can be engaging the factions on the side, or you don't believe in mediation?
I believe in what we call Otumfuo's mediation effort. But I'm telling you the truth. We need to look at their faces and tell them the truth. 1 + 1 is equal to 2. That is what we have refused to do as a nation. When the MPP goes there, they can't go, oh, when we come to power, there will not be any war. We'll favor you. NDC goes and tell you, we are assuring you, you are the Naba. No, there's no 2 Nabas here. That wouldn't help us. Let them know the history behind what they are doing. And to interest you to know that youth from the various factions might not know what we are discussing today. The history, they might not know they even have blood brothers being the what do you call the Dagombas and all that. And then it will interest you to know that Mampusis have Kusasis mothers. Kusasis have Mampusis mothers. And that's how far they've gotten to. So we need to sit them down and use proper communication skills to educate them.
So now we are looking at how we can get lasting peace. So you have mentioned the education or the history of the youth.
I think you are not being fair to me. Let me finish my point.
Yeah, because we are looking at time, and we can't exhaust the Boku conversation.
I hear.
So still to give you your time back, so that the fair habitat.
My worry, what I want to tell my fellow colleagues or brethren at Boku.
So producer says that we've been charitable, so we'll overrun for 10 minutes. We have additional 10 minutes. So make your point.
That's fine. Once you allow military or the security services in, let me tell you, Boku people, you are inviting diseases. You are inviting unwanted pregnancies. You are inviting dehumanization. If they don't know, they should go to Sierra Leone. They should go to Liberia. They should go to all these countries and find out from them what they benefited from the intrusion of military people, from all the, let's say, the UN, the ECOWAS guys who came there. Look, some of them are disease infested. And once they, look, I've said some before. It will interest you to know I come from Konya. Do you know I come from Konya? You don't know. That is why I'm speaking so pathetically
and passionately about it.
Yes, because when the security guys come, they come, not all of them, let me put into question.
I wanted to put that caveat.
Not all of them, they come to sex our girls. They come to, one of them came with the name, says he's Amoka, got one of the ladies impregnated and ran away and left. Where would you make him out? He didn't mention them to you. And they come to infest you with diseases and dehumanize you. With their lashes, they'll whip you every now and then as if that will solve the problem.
So your people should avoid this.
We should avoid this kind of war and this kind of attacks and all that. Let us look into their faces, into the faces of Kusasis and Bokus and the Mampusis, and tell them war is not a solution to their woes. Rather, proper mitigation. They should understand that. I've already told you that it's like warriors or soldiers fighting armed robbers. That's what's happening in Boku.
Very well. Viewers, you can understand the passion with which Wonders is talking, because he said he has seen it
because look, if you have ever been to Boku, how nice the place is. How, you know, the serene environment, how you know, I've been there before. And today, you can't even step your foot to Boku. It's very pathetic.
Very. Reverend Benjamin Aruk, you are in Boku, and you can see the concerns being raised here from the south, how people are very passionate and the situation there. From where you sit, Osofo, do you see any clear path to peace in what is happening? Reverend Aruk? Yes, so we are working the line to get Reverend Aruk back. He's in Boku. He's in Boku at the moment. So he will tell us from he is in there. He's in there. So he will tell us what the field
before he comes. You know that the church is located in the Kusasi area, and for that matter, he can't even move to the Mampusis area. And then the Mampusis are in the heart of Boku, surrounded by the Kusasis. So the Methodist Church is located around I think the locus or whatever they call the place, and that's where the church is. And he cannot even, as a preacher, I don't think he can even preach the Mampusis because he dares not.
But they also need salvation.
Of course, yes. That's the problem we have now. So just imagine being a Mampusi pastor pastoring Kusasis. Yeah. What happened to you?
It is not the best. This COP, I could hear you laugh when Wonders was making that, giving us that picture of what the situation really is on the ground. He mentioned some things about especially getting the young people to smoke the piece, to get the history, so that they know that it is that bad. I know you don't agree with the part that some of your men, the officers, and they mention so many things to the people. True or false?
Well, that one I don't think that I agree with him totally, because in agreeing, then what he's trying to say is that the people who come there to fight and then to maintain peace are all coming with diseases, which is not the case. In every situation, you get some bad nuts. People can go way off, but that does not describe the entire agency or unit that comes to do proper work. And so that one I would disagree with him. But again, what I want to say is that if you are talking about what he was talking about, diseases, as you stay indoors here and there and fighting here and there, economic development goes down.
Yeah.
And then a lot of things affect you that you cannot progress. you cannot benefit. If even you are sick, you can't go to the hospital. And so it's a difficult thing. But I believe that, as what you are talking about mediation, peace building is the best. Because that one is a multifaceted kind of strategy. Talking about conflict resolution, how to resolve the conflict, and the peace building, the issue at hand now. You mentioned some human rights issues. Peace building will bring in human rights issues, making sure that people's rights are respected. And we need to be able to be bold to tell the factions what is right, what is true, and what is not true. What is wrong, we need to let them know. What is right, we need to let them know. And I believe that as the Otumfuo has been given this assignment, we will all kindly respect that and then support him to make sure that this area, our brother was talking about Boko being a nice place. I also had the opportunity to work at Boko for my practical work at Trinity. And Boko at that time was a very good place, a very lovable place. And I believe that what is happening now, I can't even imagine the kind of difficulty that the minister is going through. Because even at that time that there was no war, even though the environment was beautiful here and there, now that there's war, how do people, make ends meet? How do they live their lives? And these are things that we need to look at. And I believe that as we talk about peace building, talking about maintaining law and order in those places, what we need to do is to support all the democratic institutions, promote human rights in those areas, and then make sure that economic development is fostered, is encouraged. And then as we facilitate these reconciliation processes, wherever we find ourselves, within the church, within the state, and as individuals, we do our bit. And here I kind of want to use your medium to appeal to you, the media people, that focus on the areas that we have people coming from this area. Intelligence on these areas will be very much appreciated so that those communities are monitored. Let's take, for instance, what happened in Kumasi. The Aswazi area, we have a lot of people there. And so the security people will have to monitor that area. Place intelligence in those areas. You come to Ankrah, we have so many. You go to Asham and you have some of them there. I think we need to start focusing on these areas, making sure that the movement in these areas, how are people, conducting themselves? What are the goods being moved into those areas and out of those areas? We need to start checking some of these things. If we are unable to do that and maintain a total control over these communities, I bet you that when we wake up the next morning, the curfew will be in Ankrah. It won't be in Boku.
We, as a church station, we pray against that.
Yes.
Let me come to you, Peter. It's one day in the studio. How do we mitigate this whole thing?
I think that we should go back to history, how they were before the coming in of the white man, how they were living before the coming in of the white man and the imposition of a faction on the other one. If we're able to do that, I think they will all be at peace. So one, to me, I feel the people of Mambusi or the Mambusi people should be given the opportunity to have their chief or their king, whose power should be limited to his people as the Nairi directed before he dispatched the prince to rule over the people of Mambusi in Boku. And then the Kusasi should also be given the opportunity to also rule their own people in, because we can't say they should alternate the skin. So now what I want to say is that because they are the minority in Boku, the Mambusis, and number two, they were having their chieftaincy issue and Kusasi never had a problem, except when they imposed their chieftaincy on the people of Kusasi. So if we're able to go back to that particular system of leadership and how they were, I think there will be a peace. Because the Kusasis are not saying that they don't want the Mambusis in Boku. All the issues or all the reasons why they are fighting over there is as a result of chieftaincy. So now, Mampusi should be given the opportunity to have their chiefs or their kings, but they should not extend their power or their rulership to the people of Kusasi. If we're able to do that, I think we'll have our peace, the peace that we want.
Peter, if you said they should be given, who should give?
But as it stands today, we have all agreed, we've all agreed that politics is playing some kind of role in it. I've already illustrated that. There has been committees, the Afari, the Opoku Afari committee, the Ajiman Badu committee, and then the Kusasi conference, the Mampusis conference in 1932, the Kusasi conference in 1931, all that, you see? So the mediation team that is going there should make sure that we speak to them, remember them or remind them of how they were before the imposition of Mampusi on the Kusasi. By so doing, we'll have the peace that we want.
Have the peace we want. Very well. Reverend Benjamin Aruk, who is a Methodist minister in Boku, has joined us via phone. The Zoom has dropped. He has work challenge with his network. Also, welcome back, and we glad to have you connect. So, also, you have the concluding remarks on this conversation. What is the path to peace in Boku?
If we want peace to Boku, the enforcement of the security agencies on these cases actually doesn't help, because we have seen series of cases with varied times, and in these times where cases were very active, people still managed to go and kill other people. So no matter how the curfew is imposed in the area, you still see killing taking place in some places. So if they are enforcing, they are to enforce the law, not to enforce peace. I don't think how peace can be enforced on somebody. I had a story regarding one white man. The child was very naughty. He said, "Please come, kneel down." The guy kneeled down and told the father that he actually knelt down, but the heart is standing. So the best thing is to go and see what the law says about the Boku king, who actually is responsible of being the king or the king. The Supreme Court has spoken. All presidents who have come and gone have declared that indeed the Boku Naba Azaka II is the legitimate king. So they are dancing around the clock, which doesn't actually help. If they should bring all the barracks in Ghana to Boku, they cannot solve the problem. So what the state need to do is that what the law, the Supreme Court said in 2003 or so, and what the immediate past government has indicated, and what the current government has indicated, that's to enforce that law and make sure that the Supreme Court ruling works. And if you don't agree to comply, then the law will take you and you answer questions. That's the only solution that will bring lasting peace to the place.
Very well.
But if you are bringing whatever case you or whatever security agencies, the people are not hardened. They are hardened.
Thank you.
Only that they are not in uniform, but they are hardened.
They are hardened.
There is no any amount of suppressing. You can suppress the people and there will be lasting peace. The mediation they are talking of, to some extent, it cannot get help at all.
Thank you.
Unless the mediation toe the line of the Supreme Court ruling. And what the immediate past government has indicated several times with his chieftaincy minister and all that, and what this current government is saying, that there's only one Boku Naba, which is Saburago Azoka II. So if they toe that line, if the mediation toe that line, then it will bring finality to the place. And if you disagree, it means the law will take you on.
Very well. Thank you very much, Reverend Benjamin Aruk. That was Reverend Benjamin Aruk there. He's a Methodist minister in Boku. We also had in the studio with us Mr. Peter Wonders, who is a lecturer with the African University of Communications and Business. We're also joined via Zoom by a retired police officer, the very Reverend Frank Chumba, DCOP, also helping us to understand and appreciate the conversation. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and thank you very much, viewers, for your company. The conversation continues. We are looking for the clear pathway for peace in Boko. Come Wednesday, we are back on your screen, and make time to join us. My name is Gabriel to Ankrah. Goodbye.